What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Cassandra and we are just hanging out together today tackling our to-do list. The day after my kids had a snow day, so the house was kind of torn apart. We had taken that snow day to just hang out and really not do anything super crazy. I did tackle a couple tasks that I've been really wanting to do. I went through my clothes, got a whole garbage bag ready to donate, so that was good, but this was just getting kind of everything reset. And because I knew I wanted to spend a lot of day getting some things reset and a lot of little tasks taken care of, I knew I wanted a crock pot meal. So these are some pork ribs from our local pork. All I threw in thus far was a little bit of brown sugar. And here we are dumping in some leftover sodas that somebody was drinking and got put in the fridge overnight. And I thought, you know what, I want soda for the pork ribs anyway, so let's just dump in the rest of these Pepsis. We don't normally keep soda in the house, but because it was a snow day, my husband picked up a couple sodas on the way home from work and the kids enjoyed them. I threw in some salt, some pepper, a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, brown sugar, and the sodas, and then I just closed the lid on it and let that go low and slow all day long. I wanted to get this in the crock pot really early in the morning. I think it's like 8 a.m. here in this clip, and these cooked low and slow until 5 o'clock. And at, I don't know, about 4 o'clock, 1 hour before dinner time, I popped open a can of our barbecue sauce that we made over the summertime, threw that in there. Here's a little bit of soy sauce, and it was really good. It was a very easy pork rib dinner, and I can see myself doing this again. I want to get better at making pork ribs. We don't make them that often, but because it's pantry challenge, I had to do it. The other task that I really wanted to get done this day was make some freezer chocolate banana bites for the kids. My bananas were about to go bad, so I really needed to use them up. So I grabbed a parchment paper and a cookie sheet. We cut up a couple of the bananas. I wanted to keep some bananas whole for banana bread and smoothies and things, but I took just what I could fit on this cookie sheet of sliced bananas, and we're going to drizzle them with melted chocolate that I have left over from the holidays, and we're going to pop them in the freezer, let them freeze up, and then later today we just put them in a Ziploc bag and store them back in the freezer, so they're just like a little frozen bite for the kids. If you didn't want to use chocolate, you could also dip them in yogurt. You could drizzle peanut butter over them, or peanut butter and chocolate, kind of whatever you want. You could also do this with strawberries if you wanted to, or raspberries, blueberries, and just make them little chocolate or yogurt fruit bites. I think I ended up doing 2 bananas here. That's what fit on the cookie sheet, and I just wanted to get my kitchen tasks done earlier in the day, so that way once I cleaned the kitchen, I was going to be done cleaning the kitchen for the day because we had the crock pot meal. So that was my thinking on it. We are going to make some sides later tonight for our crock pot meal. We're doing a twice baked potato, which we don't do very often, and we're going to do some broccoli. So it was a really easy dinner, but delicious. So here we are. I'm just melting some chocolate chips. You could also do melting chocolate, whatever you have, but I have a ton of chocolate chips right now left over from the holidays, so I put that in my microwave safe bowl. I threw in just a little bit of coconut oil. Usually people use something like paraffin wax, but I don't want to put wax anywhere near my food, so I use coconut oil instead. You can also use butter, but I found that sometimes butter can actually make it seize, so I like using coconut oil. And I just put that in the microwave, gave it a little bit of a stir, put it back in the microwave until it was melted, and now we're just drizzling it over. You could also dunk them in there and kind of roll it in, but I was doing this really quick. I was holding Cleo, so I just wanted to do it as easily and as quickly as possible. So that's why I chose to do it this way. And these turned out really, really good, you guys. My son ate these for a snack this day. He loved them. My older girls came home and had some for an after-school snack as well. They're also loving them. So my oldest daughter said she's really excited to be able to make these in the summertime and have these as like a cool little, almost like a banana chip. She's very excited about them. So these will be something you'll probably see me making more often with bananas. I'm always looking for ways to use up things in different ways, and this is something that just kind of came out of the pantry challenge that I think we'll be using and doing more and more heading into especially warmer weather. Next thing I wanted to do was unload and reload my dishwasher. I didn't get very far before I had to stop and go help a baby, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So I did end up, however, getting the dishwasher unloaded and reloaded. I just really wanted to get everything in my kitchen taken care of early in the morning and be done with it. The other thing I really needed to do was feed my sourdough. Guys, I finally think my sourdough is getting to the point where it's almost ready to be used. The smell has changed. It's gone from being very sour and almost foul smelling, to be honest, to sweet. It's a lot happier. It looks a lot happier. It's bubbling. It's growing and shrinking very consistently. I'm very excited. And everywhere I've read on sourdough, some people make it seem like you just make your sourdough starter and then in a couple days you're making bread. I started the sourdough starter on December 31st, and just now on the 11th of January, it's finally getting to the point where I think it's starting to get ready. So if your sourdough starter is taking time, I've found to realize that is very normal. Sourdough starter doesn't always take a couple days or 7 days to ferment and do what it needs to do. The next thing I did, because by this time it was almost lunchtime, so I wanted to prep lunch. I had about a little less than a pound of hamburger in the fridge, and I knew for lunch this day I wanted to use up my salad because romaine does last a long time in the fridge, but I wanted to get it used up and eaten before it started to go bad on me. So I made a big salad for lunch, and myself, my 4-year-old, and my baby all ate this salad for lunch, and it was so good. We're doing a Big Mac salad, so I took some of our homemade pickles, our lettuce, and kind of diced everything up, put that in the bowl. Then I threw in some cheddar cheese, our Thousand Island dressing that I'm also trying to use up during Pantry Challenge. And what else did we throw in here? I ended up throwing croutons on top of this as well, and that was really good. The croutons made it. I'm excited to be able to make this in the summertime when we have fresh tomatoes and peppers and things like that from the garden. So we ate this for lunch, and then I ended up just putting everything together in that glass bowl there that's holding our salad. I wrapped it in cellophane and put that in the fridge and just used it as meal prepping for the rest of the week during Pantry Challenge. So I'm realizing that during Pantry Challenge, I'm being more thoughtful on what I'm cooking, even more than I normally am. And I'm doing a lot more prepping than I have in the last year or so. And it's making my life so much easier. Prepping a big salad like this and having it for the week is something I haven't done in a long time. And it's made my day-to-day much easier. And I'm very excited. And I'm hoping that I can continue this throughout the rest of the year, doing a little bit more prepping, make sure that I'm pulling my meat out of the freezers when I'm supposed to, and kind of doing like a weekly freezer pulling out and thawing section so that I can prep my stuff for the week instead of doing it every single day, because then sometimes it doesn't happen or it gets pulled out later than it should have and it's not ready, and then dinner time is more stressful. So I'm hoping that I can do that through 2024. Here's a look at our salad, just delicious, and now we're heading in to do some laundry. People are asking about the laundry detergents. I wanted to show you guys. People were asking if they separated, what they looked like. They're nervous about their kids that do their own laundry having to shake it or anything like that to mix it up, trying not to make messes, which I completely can understand. So this is our scent-free laundry detergent. You can see it's a lot cloudier. I was responding to a comment. It almost looks like it congealed, kind of like fat settles on the top of a cold soup. That's what this is reminding me of. I do shake it here, like you can see, like look at this. It's like congealed, and it's gotten worse and worse as it's sat. I made this about a week ago, so I do still shake it. I kind of just go like this and try to mix it up a little bit. I haven't had any issues with it. I don't know if it's supposed to settle like this because this is very new to me still. However, on my one that I used the lavender scent of the Castile soap, this is perfect. It's not congealed like this. This one is fine, and it's not congealed like that. So I think if you're trying to avoid the congealiness where you have to shake it, I wouldn't use this unscented Castile soap. This is Whole Naturals Nature's Gold Pure Castile soap. I do have this linked down below. So this is the one that I used with the ones that congealed a lot that needs to be shaken. However, I used, this is the lavender one that's linked down below. I got that from Walmart, but you can also get it on Amazon. That's also linked down below. That one didn't congeal. So I think moving forward, I'm not going to use this Castile soap for the laundry detergent anymore once this is gone, just because I like this better of not having to be mixed and stirred. So that's kind of this, but yeah, it definitely needs to be shaken a little bit. So I've just been like trying to give it a shake, trying to get it remixed in a little bit before I use it. So that's kind of what I've been doing, but I haven't had any issues thus far. But like I said, it's only been a week, so I don't know. But there's the little update for you guys with the Cleo noises in the background. So let's get a load of laundry going because I want to show you guys how I use this stuff, because I got so many questions on these soaps. So let's go and do it. I get comments a lot on how people just don't know how everything gets done. And the truth is, it doesn't always get done. Things take a lot longer. Like you can see, as I'm putting clothes in the washer, Cleo is pulling those same clothes right back out of the washer. But my kids are always with me. They're by my side. They're under my feet, just always. And I think what's helped me a lot is with my older two girls, what I started doing with them is I would sit down and play with them for a while. Once they got playing and they were playing well, I would say, okay, you guys play for a couple minutes. Mommy's going to go take care of some things, and then I'll come back and play. And making sure that I actually do come back and play, and then I'll play with them for a little bit. And then I'll go, okay, Mommy's going to go take care of this, and then I'll come back and play. And actually making sure that you're coming back and playing when I say, okay, we played for a little bit, now you're playing. Mom's going to go do the laundry, and then I'll come back and we'll play some more. They're a lot more receptive, and they aren't as upset maybe when I walk away. So that's kind of how I've done things with all of my kids. Of course, the baby, that's a little bit different. She kind of just trots behind me a lot, but Colt specifically, my older girls, usually that's what I do. I laid Cleo down for a nap right after we switched that laundry, and there were two things I knew I really wanted to get done while she napped, and that was making this homemade pancake mix. I just ran out of my pancake mix. I did not buy any heading into Pantry Challenge, and this is something that I've been wanting to do anyways, is to learn how to kind of stock my pantry with homemade mixes and like pancake mix, brownie mix, cake mixes, muffin mixes, spice mixes, things like that. So this was just a good opportunity to do so. I found this recipe off Pinterest. I will link this recipe down below for you guys, but I did make these just this morning for the girls for breakfast. They're on a pancake kick and they said nothing. So it must not have tasted any different than a regular store-bought mix. They ate them. No one said a thing. So I'm going to say that even though I have not eaten these personally myself, the kids did not notice a difference. So there's that. This is also a just add water mix, which is what I wanted. So the only things I added were a little bit of water, and I always throw a splash of vanilla in my pancakes anyways, but that's what we did. The kids loved them. I just threw everything in this gallon mason jar, gave it a shake, labeled it pancake mix, and just add water. That way if my husband is making pancakes, he knows what to do. And I put it in the pantry, and it's been ready to use ever since. I'm excited. My husband and I are looking into possibly getting a freeze dryer. If you are not already aware, we are putting in an orchard and over 100 berry plants in the spring, and we're looking to possibly get a freeze dryer to be able to preserve all of those berries and all of the fruit. And I think that throwing freeze-dried blueberries in this pancake mix or freeze-dried raspberries in the pancake mix and in the muffin mix and things like that would be awesome. Then you could just have a pre-packaged blueberry pancake mix or blueberry waffle mix, wherever you wanted to use it for. So I'm really excited about that. But on the shelf it goes, and it's ready to be used for whenever. The other thing I knew I really wanted to get done was to rug doctor my furniture in my living room between Christmas break, And then the snow day, my couches were needing a little bit of love. We're a large family. There are 6 of us. We also have 3 dogs that also are allowed on our furniture. I know that's not for everybody, but my dog's home is also my home, and I'm not going to limit them from being up on the furniture. That's just us. If you don't let your dogs on the furniture, totally understand, but we do, and that means they need to be rug doctored a little bit more often. So I went ahead and did all this. Colt also really wanted to help because Cleo was napping. He didn't really have anyone to play with, so he came up and he had a turn. So I showed him how to use the rug doctor, and he loved that, of course. So we worked together and got all of the couches done and all the furniture in the living room. And it felt so good to get that knocked off of my list as well. And then we just played. We took a really big break and we played. We did some Danny Go together on YouTube. We love Danny Go. I get my cardio in. He gets his wiggles out a little bit. It's one of our favorite winter activities, or like a rainy day activity. I don't really let my kids on YouTube, but Danny Go, we love some Danny Go in the house. You can see how just nasty the water was. So after we did some Danny Go, we hopped up and Colt came up with me, and he kind of sat next to me while I peeled potatoes, and we just talked. I think today we were talking about Spider-Man, which is usually his favorite topic to talk about. He loves Spider-Man or the Avengers, anything superhero related. So as I was peeling the potatoes, because it was about 2 o'clock, I was just throwing them in some cold water and put them up on the stove to sit, so that way for dinner time they were ready to go. We just do this for like any holiday meal that we're hosting. We do the same thing. We peel our potatoes the night before, put them in cool water, and then we usually put them in a cool spot, like in a refrigerator or out in the garage, and then we just dump the water, put fresh water in, and they're ready to boil. So it saves me a step, and then I don't have to peel potatoes while Cleo is awake. The next thing I wanted to do, because she was still sleeping, was take care of these banana chips before I forgot about them in the freezer. So I got Colt a bowl, and he ended up having some of these for a snack. I put the rest of them in a Ziploc bag, and then, like I said, the kids had them that day for snacks after school, and they absolutely loved them. So these were definitely a hit. Then I took a really long break. Kids came home from school, we hung out a little bit, and then it was time to finish off dinner. So here are our boiled potatoes. We're gonna make them into mashed potatoes just like you normally would. Whatever your go-to mashed potato recipe is. We do butter, salt, a little bit of milk, sour cream, salt, pepper. Then you're going to add in your cheese, and you put in chives, bacon bits, whatever you have. Today I ended up doing a little bit of Parmesan and a little bit of mozzarella because that's what I had in the fridge. So we're gonna mash those up, add our cheeses. Then we're going to take you can either take a casserole dish or a baking dish, whatever's oven safe you can use, but I like to use my cupcake tins just because everyone gets their own little portion of a twice baked potato. And then you can also take those leftover muffin tin twice baked potatoes and you can freeze them. They thaw really well. You can heat them up in the microwave, have them as a lunch, bring them to work, heat them up in your microwave at work, whatever it is. So that's why I like to do it that way. But make our mashed potatoes. Grab your cupcake tins, put in your cheesy potato mixture in your cupcake tins, and then we're going to top it with cheddar cheese and a little bit of paprika. That's how we like to make ours. And then you bake them in the oven at 350 basically until your cheese is like ooey gooey and delicious, and you should be able to scoop it out in one solid kind of chunk of potato, and they get crispy and delicious. They are fantastic. So that's how we made these. Our pork ribs are already done at this point, and then we're going to grab some broccoli out of the freezer, get that going. And I forgot to take a video of what dinner looked like, but that's what we did. It's easy, delicious, and made plenty of leftovers. My husband had it for lunch the next day. I had it for lunch the next day, and nobody complained, which is also really, really good. That's always a win in my book. So this is kind of what our meals have been looking like during Pantry Challenge. Pretty basic, easy meals, but they're so delicious, and I love cooking like this. I love eating like this as well. So far Pantry Challenge has been really fun. It hasn't been quite a challenge quite yet, but we're still early, so that can definitely change. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day wherever you are. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. I hope that you guys get some things taken off of your to-do list. If it's a day like mine where you just have a lot of little things you want to take care of, or maybe you just have one really big task, I hope that you can get those things done. Have a fantastic day. I hope you guys have a great start to your week. Tomorrow was Monday. I hope you started off on the right foot, and I will see you guys in my another video.